This video was produced by The Top Cut. Be sure to check out thetopcut.net, your home for Pokemon TCG, tournament coverage, professional game analysis, and interviews with the best players in the world. Thanks for watching.
Hey all, this is Pram bringing you the top 16 of the Delaware State Championships. On our left we have Sylvester Kwon, and on our right we have Luke Reed. This is a Zekrom Eelektrik mirror match, so we're in for another one of those. It looks like Luke won the roll, and he does start with Thundurus. On Sylvester's side, he has a Tyrogue and a 30 HP Dynamo. So Luke's just going to retreat Thundurus and then get in there with Tyrogue, knocking out his opponent's Tyrogue. So, takes the prize turn 1 and stays asleep. That's a pretty good turn for Luke. Unfortunately, he did not have any supporters in his hand, so he may be playing from behind, depending on how Sylvester's turn plays out. But that extra prize, turn 1, is very strong. So, we do see a level ball. He's just checking on what's prized and whatnot. Probably just going to get another Dynamo here. And I don't know exactly what's in his hand. I think I saw maybe an Eelektrik. So we'll see from that. Luke's hand... okay, so there's Eelektrik. There's not too much going in Luke's hand. But Sylvester does have a Pont. So, yeah, so let's see. What does Sylvester want? Well, his ideal turn right now would be a turn 1 charge. So he wants to get like a Dual Ball and energy or Thundurus and energy, something along those lines. So he doesn't get the energy, but that's pretty much it. Just funny thing though, if Tyrogue did wake up, it could get knocked out by that Dynamo. So good thing for Luke that it did stay asleep. It would have been quite humorous to see Dynamo get in there. So he's going to attach to Dynamo, and the reason he's doing this is because even if Luke does wake up, which he did not, even if he did wake up, then Luke would have been able to knock out the Dynamo with the energy, and thus putting the energy in Sylvester's discard pile for later on. So, he did wake up now, so probably just gonna use his plus powers and then Juniper. That seems like the best move. Maybe just play 1 plus power and get a level ball. I actually like that better. But let's see how he plays this turn out. He's going for plus power here. And then Junipers. So he does draw another plus power. Eviolite. A good amount of a good set of cards. And a Thundurus even. Does he have a lightning for that? I don't see any energy for that Thundurus, so it's a little unfortunate for Sylvester. But, you know, he's just going to be able to knock out Tyrogue with Dynamo. So, the prizes are tied back up, but Sylvester's board is very, very good compared to Luke's. Luke hasn't played a supporter yet. He hasn't played any balls. No dual balls, no level balls. He does sport the dual ball version, so there will not be any collectors. And we're probably just going to see a charge coming out of Luke. He catches... Okay, so he's catching up the Thundurus just to buy some time, so Sylvester can't do everything he wants to do. That free retreater is really good. So, let's see how Sylvester responds to this. Now, the one card he's not allowed to play is N. If he plays N, that brings Luke back into the game. So, it's luckily he has a Pont in his hand, so he's going to be playing that. Just to get more... Yeah, so there's the Pont. You may have been able to put the Eviolite down somewhere, but not really worth it right now. Let's see. So, I think he has... And he has an energy or two in the discard, so Eelektrik will be a good draw for him, too. He does hit a level ball. And another Thunderous. And a dual ball. So, he's... Maybe he wins this turn. If he has 1, 2 heads. If he can get Zekrom and if he has enough energy, he might just win right now. Does he have 2 energy in the discard? Well, we'll find out. There's one Eelektrik. I'm sure he has a second one. Let's see here. So, Dynamo comes down, it evolves, and Zekrom comes down. How many energies does he have in there? Oh, I don't think he has a junk arm. Oh, he does have a junk arm. Oh, well, yeah, he couldn't have won this turn anyways. He has that Thunderous in the active spot. So he does get a charge off, which is going to help him out a lot later. And he has a Pokegear in his discard, I believe. So he will be able to use his junk arm for Pokegear and get back a bunch of good stuff. Or hopefully hit a supporter and get a bunch of good stuff. We do see Luke did draw an Eviolite right there, so still no supporter for Luke. If he has maybe a catcher and an energy. Yep, there's a catcher and energy. So he is going to take another prize this turn. But, yep, there it is. Hopefully Luke will get an energy or a supporter off this so we can see a pretty good game. But we'll see. So Luke goes to 4 prizes. Sylvester sent up Dynamo, and let's see a plus power Bolt Strike. But he still has no energy in his discard, so he cannot Bolt Strike yet. He's going to have to... Yeah, he's going to have to Junk Arm here for Pokegear. I think he has a gear in there. I thought he Junipered one away. Yeah, there it is. So he is gonna gear away probably the Pokemon. What's he gonna do? Yeah, he gets rid of the Pokemon here and attaches DCE to Zekrom. Yeah. Alright, so I think his only supporter was N. Oh, here's a little predicament for Sylvester. Does he play N and give Luke a fresh hand and go for the chance of plus power? Or does he just stay back, stay cool, and try to win next turn? He can get in there with Thunderous. Personally, I think it would be better to just attach DCE to Thunderous, discard a Lightning, and then go for it next turn, rather than play N now. Because if you play N now and you don't hit the plus power, well, you're giving Luke a huge opening. Alright, so he goes with the N. So he's really hoping to hit a plus power and some way to get Lightning into the discard. Maybe a switch would do it. No. No, switch wouldn't do it. He would need, he needs a Junk Arm and Lightning. There's the plus power, but he needs the Lightning and Junk Arm, and he does not hit it. So he's not going to be able to do anything this turn. He may be able to charge, but that's pretty much it. So now Luke, if he drew a supporter and some dual balls, some Dynamos, he's actually going to be in pretty good shape for the rest of the game. So we do see another charge coming out of Sylvester. And let's see how Luke responds. So he does get 2 Dynamos, and an energy, and a Juniper? Whoa! He just threw down his hand. So Luke is very much back into this game, and this is really the double-edged sword of N. You have to know when to use it. It's such a skill card. Reading the opponent's hand, going, okay, I can't play this card. I'll wait a turn, and then probably win the next turn. So let's see how Luke responds. It looks like he's going to take another prize this turn too. Probably knocking out either a Dynamo or Eelektrik. If he has the plus power, he'll take out the Eelektrik. But he does have a junk arm for catcher, so he will be able to take out Dynamo at least. And that's going to put him up by 2 prizes, and that's huge in this matchup. However, the game could still go either way because of N. That card is really ridiculous. So we do see a junk arm for catcher, bringing up Dynamo, and Luke discards N. And the reason he does this is because he knows he's going to be the aggressor in this game. So what that means is N can only hurt him. He's only going to be able to draw a couple cards, so he's the one who's going to have to get N'd. Sylvester's the one who's going to have to use N. And Luke doesn't, when he gets N down to 2 or 1, he doesn't want to redraw N. That he wants to draw the Ponts, the Junipers. So, smart move. And we do see a Lightning Energy coming down, and he does have a plus power for Bolt Strike. So he will be able to do 130. But that Zekrom will also be taking 30 damage from this. 50 damage from this, because there is no Eelektrik on it. It will be taking 50. So, and there's an N. This N's a pretty good N. Brings Luke down to 3. Sylvester gets to draw 5. Good N. Really hoping for that Eelektrik. But does not get it, and he actually didn't get a supporter either. So he's going to be playing the board for a little bit. But I did see a junk arm, so he will. I think I saw a junk arm, so he will be able to gear later if he needs to. So he does have Super Rod too, so he's going to be able to shuffle back in some stuff. Yep, Dynamos and Mewtwo. So, if you're Sylvester, I think you just retreat and Bolt Strike for 130 and say, hey, do you have anything past your 2 Dynamos? Because if you don't, I win. So, here it comes, the big bad Zekrom getting in there. There's a Dynamo onto Thunderous, just to repower it up. And Bolt Strike for... Is that a 5? Is that a 4? That should be a 5. It's probably a 5. So, we do see a gear coming out of Luke. I think he just hit a Juniper off it too. So that's good for him. Oh, but he's looking at N too, or maybe that was an N. Oh, he might have a Juniper in his hand. If so, then he grabs the N and discards it. Because again, he's the one who's the aggressor. He's the one who's going to be getting N'd into, so he does not want to have N's in his deck. Alright, so let's see. Oh, there's a plus power. And a Juniper, yeah. Discarding the N, and this is a very nice play. So, let's see what the new 7 grants Luke. I do see a Zekrom, and an Eelektrik. maybe he'll just pull the nuts with like double Eelektrik, and then like a switch and an energy, and just bolt strike that Zekrom back. Who knows? This game could go crazy. So let's see how good Luke's hand is. I see a Dynamo too. So I don't think Luke has the knockout this turn, but he might be able to buy some time. He can also sacrifice a guy too. He does have the prizes available because of that early aggression with Thunderous. So let's see what he does. Plays down Dynamo and evolves. Okay, so he also has a Zekrom in his hand. I would like to see him play it down and start Dynamotoring to it. Yep, there it is. Oh, he even has a switch. Not bad. Okay, just getting the energies ready for Dynamotor. And let's see how... Maybe he'll go for a Thunder Shock or a Thunder Wave off Dynamo. The 40 HP Dynamo is very nice for buying time. If he gets that Thunder Wave off, then he'll be in good shape. Oh, and he's going for it. Alright, so he does have the switch. And he's going to be able to switch the active Dynamo and then use Thunder Wave. And if he gets heads here, then that's going to be huge. So here's the Thunder Wave, and it's just a Tails. And Sylvester's Zekrom goes to 60. So the Eviolite not going to do anything. The Plus Power not going to do anything. Well, but he does have another Mewtwo in his hand. Probably just going to Junk Arm away for probably just a Poke. So he gets rid of the Eviolite and Thunderous for the Pokegear, most likely. And at this point, any supporter is good for Sylvester. Be it N, Juniper, Pont, whatever. He just needs the C cards. So it gets the gear. And let's see... come on. Okay. Yep, gets the gear. Thinks about what he's going to do. But we all know. It's just gear. See what he gets. Alright. So he sees an N. Alright, so he's going to have to pick N here. And that's actually going to help Luke. His hand was not that strong. And Sylvester may want to hold on to this. I'm not totally sure. Because he does have everything he would N into anyways. So you might want to use that as more of an offensive N rather than just plain N because you haven't played a supporter this turn. Really hold back your resources and be like, no problem, I can take care of this with just the stuff I have on the board. So he picks up the N, and yeah, he's just going to go for a Disaster Volt here, I believe. Yep, there it is. Using the N, this game's been a pretty good use of N for the most part, except for that first one, where I think it was a little sketchy, but not too bad. It looks like the game is still pretty close. He does have a DCE in his hand, so he will be able to send up the Eelektrik and trying to get another one out. Oh, and he just draws Level Ball. So he's going to have 2 Eeletriks out, and he's going to be able to Bolt Strike this turn, going down to 2 prizes. And that's going to be a real deterrent against Mewtwo. So I wonder what the other... I don't remember what the other card in Luke's hand is. I know one's a DCE, and the other one I can't see it yet. Oh, it's a gear. Very nice. Let's see what Luke gets. I think he got a Juniper. Wow. Very nice. So Luke, really getting everything he needs after that one N. He was kind of drawing dead, and then he got end, and then now he's just not looking back. So he plays the 2 Dynamotors, DCE, Juniper. And he gets, it looks like a couple catchers. I think that's a catcher. And, okay, so he super rods. He's going to get back Dynamo, Thunderous, and, I don't know, probably an energy. Oh, Tyrogue. Okay. So it would be interesting to see Tyrogue get in for another prize. Maybe if Sylvester drops another Dynamo, we'll see Tyrogue again. But let's see if that happens. Let's see if he has a catcher. I think you catcher up the Zekrom here. There's nothing much that can deal with your Zekrom except for Disaster Volts plus power, which is fine. Let's see. He's taking a look at his opponent's discard. Let's see. So I did see a dual ball in Luke's hand. You probably want a dual ball here. Get maybe a Tyrogue, or maybe get I don't believe Sylvester shuffled in his own Tyrogue back in, so I think that Tyrogue is relatively safe, or as safe as any other basic Pokemon would be. So let's see, a dual ball come down. I think he has a dual ball. Yep, dual ball. First one of the game. And I think that's at least one heads. I don't know. Let's see how many heads he got. I didn't really catch it. And yeah, he does have a catcher. So let's see. If you're Luke, what do you get? Maybe. Well, you know your opponent has end, so you want to get cards that you can just throw down onto the bench. Probably a Thunderous and a Tyrogue. Yeah, that sounds good. Because what you can do then, you can just Bolt Strike the active, right? You can just Bolt Strike the active Thunderous, and then you can... He'll counter knock you out with probably like a Bolt Strike plus power, or I'm sorry, Outrage plus power. And then you just go, oh, okay, no problem. I have Thunderous, Disaster Volt, knock you out, and then what do you have? You have nothing. So that's probably the route Luke's going to go for. I can't really see anything else that he would go for, because he knows he can't keep these basics in his hand. He's going to be end this turn if he takes a prize, which he most surely will. So there's because you don't really want to hit anything other. If he can get 2 Pokemon, those are the 2 Pokemon he gets. If he can only get 1, then you get Tyrogue here, just because you want the free retreater for later. Maybe a Mewtwo. No, I don't like Mewtwo actually. Not right now. Oh, so you can only get 1. He does go with the Mewtwo. Interesting. He may play it down and then just hope to get some kind of switch or DCE eventually, and then be able to counter X-Ball. Yeah. Well, let's see. If you're at this point, I guess you could just knock out Eelektrik and play down your own Mewtwo. Yeah, that'd be fine. You could play down Eelektrik, kill his Mewtwo. Catcher up Eelektrik, knock it out with Bolt Strike, have your Mewtwo deal with any other attacker that he has, and then just say X-Ball, X-Ball, X-Ball. Let's see how this works out. Though Luke is down 3 DCEs now. He's played one on the Thunderous, played one on the Zekrom, and now on the Eelektrik. He's going for catcher. I think Eelektrik is a... Oh, this is such a tough call. I think Eelektrik is the best play. Because Mewtwo you can set up a Mewtwo and you can kind of prevent their own Mewtwo. But he's going to go in for the Zekrom, and he's just going to say, hey, you better have a plus power to deal with my Zekrom, or else I'm just going to go through you. So, we do see a Bolt Strike. Yep, Bolt Strike comes in. And now, Sylvester is just going to use N. He may have to play Mewtwo down, though. No, he doesn't. But he's going to have to... Well, you don't... Oh, this is such a tough spot for Sylvester. He's going to have to use that DCE to attach, and I think he has a plus power, so he's going to have to use plus power. Or, is that a plus power? Maybe. Yeah, there is a plus power. So I think the best play for Sylvester here is DCE. You know your opponent has gone through a bunch of ends, so you don't actually have to play your own down. You just need enough. You just need some way to knock out his Mewtwo. So you might want to go with Pont here. However, ending him down to, you would go to 3. If you play N here, you would go to 3. He goes to 2, and then you're only really +1 on him. It's so scary because you if you throw down Mewtwo, then you can just get catchered out of the game. Okay, so he's throwing down Mewtwo and just playing Juniper. Okay. So we do see another Dynamo. And another DCE. So Sylvester's in really good shape, and Luke, because he got rid of most of his ends just by discarding them, he may not have a way to get rid of Sylvester's hand. And Sylvester will be threatening for game next turn. So, Zekrom's knocked out. And Luke does have a catcher. What Luke really needs right now is a N. He really needs to get rid of his opponent's hand. It's just much too strong. I would have liked to see Sylvester forgot the Dynamotor. I would have liked to see a Dynamotor onto Eelektrik. That way you would have had you could have sent up Eelektrik as your free retreater, and then if you evolved the bench Dynamo, that way you'll have 2 Dynamotors next turn, and you'll be good to go with that on that avenue. So yeah, he definitely has game if he Dynamotored for sure. Because he would have been able, yeah. Now, it really just comes down to whether Luke has N or not. Man, that Dynamotor, that was huge. He really needed to use Dynamotor there. Onto his Eel. So, we do see a double Dynamotor coming down for Luke somewhere. Well, he hasn't done it yet, but he's just kind of mulling his options over. Looks like he's going for a Thunderous knockout. Maybe not knocking out... If he can knock out Eelektrik or Dynamo here, that'll be very huge. Yeah, okay, so he does have... He is bringing up the Eelektrik. If he can get that Dynamo... if he can get that Eelektrik knocked out, then Luke will be in great shape because Mewtwo will not be able to knock out a Mewtwo. Unless there's a Shaman front coming down for Sylvester. So he plays Switch, and he has the plus power. And he has 1 card left, and just Disaster Volts goes down to 1. And let's see how Sylvester can react to this. He really needs to take out that Mewtwo. No, okay, so he does have a catcher. He does have junk arms. Does he has a lightning, so he will be able to knock out a Eelektrik this turn. I think that would be the best option he has, and he's going to need to have. Does he have a Eelektrik in his hand? Yes, he does. So he's going to need to retreat the Dynamo, send up the Thunderous, and he needs to knock out Luke's ability to take a prize with Mewtwo, and also knocking out Luke's ability to take an easy prize with Thunderous. So, Sylvester just kind of going over his options. He does have a dual ball. I don't really know what you would dual ball here for. There's not really much you can get that you don't already have, or everything you do have you don't want to throw down. Yeah, so I think it's just gonna be catcher here for Eelektrik with a plus power. Because he does have another catcher, and he'll be able to catcher the... Oh, ooh. Let's see, he might be going for gear and just saying, hey, I'm going to go with Mute. I don't even know what he's going for here. Yeah, I don't... Interesting. Oh, he does have a Pont, so he doesn't need to go for gear. Maybe a Eviolite? Eviolite on Mewtwo would be... Actually, he just needs Eviolite on anything. Because he needs to prevent Luke from just going 4 energy Mewtwo knockout. However, so he goes for plus power. Okay, so he's gonna go plus power, plus power. And then one more plus power. And then, knock out Thunderous? With your Thunderous? No, he's bringing up Mewtwo. So he's attaching a DC to his own Mewtwo. Yeah. And he's gonna go double plus power now. Or does he have 2? I think he has 2 plus powers. No, maybe only have 1. Plus power. Eelektrik. Okay, so maybe he play. Oh, if he plays Shaman, then if he can get the Shaman, then he'll win. Right here. That, or he has to hit. Well, he has to hit. What? Like, wait, a lot more plus powers. He doesn't look like he hit what he needed. Yeah, definitely did not. Hit a bunch more catchers, though. So if Luke has some way to get that Mewtwo out of the active spot and can take a prize somehow, then he will win this game. Definitely do not want to throw that Dynamo down. You just want to X-Ball here for 60. I'm sorry, that's actually more than that, 100, yeah. It would have only done 50 times 2, so yeah, it's 100. So, let's see what Luke's 3 cards are. Because he did end his turn at 1 card, took a prize, and now he draws. So he does have 3 cards left in his hand. And his deck is actually really small. So, let's see how he works this out. The easiest way to take a prize here would be 3 energy on Mewtwo. Well, that involves a switch and a DCE. That actually just involves a switch and energy. If he can get that, then he'll win. or if he can get a catcher plus power and a switch, he will also win. So, let's see how this works out. We do see a junk arm getting in there for switch. He has a plus power, and he has another junk arm, so he does win this game. Now I think Luke has like a bunch of win conditions, so he's just figuring out the best way, or the way he wants to win at this point. A little bit of endgame showboating, I guess, so you guys can enjoy this little scene. There's a plus power coming down. And here comes a catcher. Or here comes another junk arm. Gets a catcher. Brings up the Eelektrik after he dynamotors. Catcher switches. And yep, there we go. Going on to game 2.